Alrighty, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for Wlbt Plus First Alert Weather Edition. It's a very quiet start to the day, much more quiet than it was yesterday, which is a good thing. Definitely not as foggy. The dense fog advisory is still going into effect until 10 a.m. for only Pike and Walthall County. So thankfully, not as foggy, not as groggy out there as you are heading on out, but still looking at that heavy cloud base still settled in for the start of your morning. We're talking about warm and muggy conditions still across much of central Mississippi. Thankfully, it's still dry. That's the good news. We might see an isolated shower, just pretty much a copy and paste sort of forecast from yesterday. Gusty winds at 10 to 15 miles per hour out of the south, bringing us more Gulf moisture into the forecast for your day today. Satellite and radar showing you that we are looking at very quiet look across much of the southeast. Off into the northeast, different story, but thankfully we do not have to worry about that at all. We're just talking about very clear conditions into the forecast for the day today. Again, isolated rain chances are possible, very limited though in terms of rainfall that we could be expecting today and into the rest of your first alert forecast. Really into Friday and Saturday, we could see maybe an isolated shower or two, but to be honest, it's not anything impressive, people. Still recommend keeping your reindeer close by just in case. I would much rather y'all be prepared than soaking wet walking around as you were getting any weekend plans ready. But we have some good news into the weather department. We're going from the 80s on Saturday down to the 70s on Sunday and then into the 60s into much of next week. We'll be at about to above average for this time of year into the middle portion of next week. But we're also having multiple chances of some showers and thunderstorms. The exact impacts on these storms are a little unclear right now just because we're still a little far out. Yesterday, it wasn't even showing some storms into Thursday. So I want you to be mindful of that. But the good news is after that, let's to cool us off a little bit more. We'll, of course, bring you updated details on that. But for now, we're expecting 1 to 2 inches of rainfall. Higher rainfall totals being off to the north of I-20, a little bit lower off to the south. But obviously, this can change depending on the rainfall and the exact impacts that we'll see into next week. I'll pull this up so you can see it in a full view that we are going to be expecting the big changes into the weekend. Still staying warm and muggy into really the rest of this week. And then we'll be talking about that big change into next week where rain chances look to settle in. I wouldn't be surprised if temperatures tomorrow stay into the 70s across much of central Mississippi, but that is something that you should be mindful of as you go on throughout the rest of your first alert forecast. It's fairly quiet for the day today, definitely not as foggy. So as you are planning any plans throughout the rest of your day today, make sure you be safe and enjoy the muddy weather while we still have it. Because next week we'll see another big change in our first alert forecast. So make sure you do keep your reindeer close by. And if you put it up for a couple of days and you're just like, where's my umbrella at? Well, I have good news. You have some time to try to find your umbrella and your reindeer. But if you have any questions, you can reach out to any meteorologist on staff. I'm always here. I would love to answer any questions that you have for us if you do have any at all, but make sure you have a great rest of your day today. I'm sorry this one's a little short. It's just the weather world is not very busy, which is never a bad thing at all. We're talking about much quieter conditions for this week, and then next week could get a little busy in the weather department. So we'll talk about that more as we get closer and closer into next week. But that's all I got for you today. Make sure you enjoy the rest of your day today, and please drive safe this morning.